Next on Investigative Report. Rush hour in America, while we burn out quicker at slower speeds. Earning a living drives rush hour participants in any given city in the U.S. each weekday. Thankfully, this hectic time period lasts just for a few hours, peaking in the morning from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. and in the afternoon from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. or later in larger cities. As compared to the colonial period, we are moving at the speed of light by planes, trains, and automobiles. But everyone will not make it into the office today, because rush hour is responsible for the largest percentage of in-transit deaths in America today. It is a well-documented fact that the most dangerous hour to drive in the U.S. is evening rush hour, with almost 9,000 road deaths recorded in that time over a 5-year period. When you stop a moment to take in the odds, you will find that you are pretty lucky to make it in the office and not carried to this emergency room bed. And now, rush hour in America, while we burn out quicker at slower speeds. You might be wondering why I say that we burn out quicker at slower over faster speeds, but studies show we actually do. Sure, there are stressors in the work world. In fact, someone is just about to have a heart attack at this meeting in the next 60 seconds. But the truth of the matter is that there are fewer heart attacks at work than at rest in bed by a factor of 20. Most of us have a higher chance of waking up in the morning to an adrenaline-related heart attack than any other place on earth. By every measure of research, it would seem that motion, drive, and stress play a vital role in maintaining our health. As humans, we are hardwired to run with the pack headlong into competition, which raises the stressors that introduce us to an unchallenged environment. Our ability to deal with stress gets better managed as we age through our primary school system towards secondary education or college. Stress or adrenaline imbalance measures not only propels our success in a workaday world, but our personal lives as well. In truth, if you had not developed the talents needed to manage your stress levels, statistics show that your job wouldn't have hired you in the first place. Additionally, you would have a greater odds that you would soon be fired. Stress-related employment, just like our school environment, propels us to succeed against all odds, not simply to make the rent payment, but to attain our dreams. Without stress, you have a life of malaise that one wouldn't have to go on vacation to Champagne Beach to attain. To be truthful, all success human life is built around a healthy dose of capitalizing off of stressful environments and demanding life events. Take, for example, the stress of meeting someone for a first date, or marrying that person into a life you thought best kept single. If that wasn't enough stress to boil your tea kettle, then what about dealing with the demands of a baby to which neither of you is prepared? Stress levels are raised and not lowered by every year we live, as evidenced by taking your children to the same school you once hated as a child, while fearing that you would lose them forever. So now that I have given you the skinny on stress, let's break down the actual facts and statistics on why we are safe for moving at optimal levels, as opposed to riding the couch and channel surfing this fall season. When it comes to highway fatalities, we have a greater chance of being in an accident within the evening rush hour, but this is nothing compared to when that rush hour is over. During the spring and summer months, when everyone is more relaxed, fatal crashes tend to peak between 8 p.m. and 11:59 p.m. Those time periods for humans are when we are more at ease. We have turned the anxiety level down in our brains. The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration statistics reveal that 52% of all crashes occur within a 5-mile radius of home, and 69% of all collisions happen within a 10-mile radius of that home. Drivers involved in close-to-home crashes are more likely to be distracted and not on their rush hour game. Others have found to be under the influence of alcohol or both. A likely reason that drivers take more risk is that they are familiar territory as opposed to their work world competitive environments. More than 46,000 people die in car crashes each year, according to United States road crash statistics. Now, with only 5,540 of those fatal car crashes occurring during rush hour. A minute ago, I told you that people are more likely to have a heart attack at home than at work. Let's take a look at those statistics. Each year in America, about 805,000 people have a heart attack, while only 10,000 out of that number have sudden cardiac arrest at work. As humans, we have a higher chance of dying after retirement than we do when we are gainfully employed, even at the age of 65. A Swedish study found that women in non-manual jobs who retired had a higher risk of dying from heart disease whenever they left work, compared with those who stayed in jobs. Men who retire before their 65th birthday have an almost 20% higher chance of dying than if they retired at age 65 years. Studies say that retirement brings new relationship issues for men who do not find new meaningful activities to replace work. There is a risk of boredom and a sense of rudderlessness that can be stressful and lead to depression and other health problems. In retirement, you will have just as many people around you as the legitimate relationships you groomed since childhood. If you prefer to be a herd person, align yourself with a large enough herd that reflects the first time you went off to school. But if you prefer to be a loner in your older age, then ensure you perform activities that inspire the individual. There is no need for us to watch television all day until we are asleep, and it is watching us. If you are young and married and worry if your spouse will be around in your old age, then here are a few things you need to know. Most of us lose our spouses within the first 2 years after marriage. For this reason, over half of marriages end in divorce. But old age and retirement do not have to be this way, especially if you plan in advance. Remember this truism: whatever service or care you provide outside of your home is typically what your home will be lacking. This means that if I am a nurse outside of the home and I take great care of my patients, then I guarantee that my spouse has unattended medical needs that I ignore. So the best medicine for old age is keeping the energy and high enough in your critical relationships as you would in your job over the same growing years. A minute ago, I spoke about how you could have a better retirement life now, and I'm going to use the high divorce rates to prove it. Divorce rates are abysmal enough that you wouldn't even take a career if there was a 54% chance that you would be fired within those first 2 years. But in marriage, we accept this as a norm. The reason relationships lack career longevity is because, like our jobs, we lose the rush hour adrenaline once we park our cars into the next morning. For this reason, our lives become incongruent. A wife or husband could easily be the nicest, most caring person in the office place and yet be despised when they come home to their family. Why? Because this partner left out the front door this morning with maximum motivation but returned with a sullen, standoffish attitude that would have gotten them fired at work. Some people insist that these dual behaviors are part of human nature and that most people are faking their way through the workday. But if this were true, that would mean that the vast majority of people are actually sullen until they arrive on the job again the next day. To bring your home life in balance with your work world, you need to project the same type of veracity and attitude you would bring to the makeup mirror each morning. I mean, sure, most of us will say that when we arrive home, we are tired from a long day's work. I get that. But how tired would you be if your friend called you up after work to take you out to a party? Better still, how tired would you be if you had to go to your second job without complaint? Whether single or married, if we only have a vibrant life outside of our home, we are akin to a child sitting on a seesaw by themselves, awaiting a partner. The way to enjoy life is in balance, as two children would on that same seesaw. So remember, a life without stress is no life at all. Despite what travel agencies and the medical community tell us about going on vacation to extend our life, this behavior seems to be opposite of what actually extends life. You see, in fact, we need to be tackling work as if our lives depended on it. Why? Because it does. For Investigative Report, this is Charles Rivers. Thank you for watching.